Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Watchtower Examination. This is another video where I will be commenting on a video done by an ex-JW. I'm fascinated by ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know, it appears that when you leave the organization, your mind becomes sharper. It's as though it was imprisoned for so long, and so it has escaped now and is just working overtime. XJW Analyzer has taken a break because of job-related issues. I can't wait for him to come back. XJW Critical Thinkers, John Lloyd Evans, John Cedar's channel, clear and how could I forget goat-like personality? And I mean, I can go on and on and on, but TellTale is in a class by himself. The way he does his thing. I'm even fascinated by the graphics that he does, the drawing. You know, it just really grabs your attention and keeps you listening to him while you're watching the drawings. Pretty good, pretty neat. This video, the title is a play on words like I've never played on words before. All the pun intended. Because I mean that telltale, the idea of telling tales on people, is both right and it can also be wrong. But TellTale, the author of the video, is also spot on with everything that he said. So he is right, yet wrong. What am I talking about? I'm going to be playing you a video of his and commenting on bits of it.
Jehovah's Witnesses have this broadcasting thing they do every month that basically acts as a propagandistic communication route for them. I did an analysis of the first part of it a few weeks ago. Well, I decided to go through a little more of it and I found some interesting stuff. So let's take a look at this clip they put out in the most recent JW broadcasting episode. Let's get into it.
I love my brother, and I always wanted to be like him. But those pictures of him partying with kids from school showed he was living a double life. I didn't want to get him in trouble, but I knew I had to say something. I told him he had to tell Mom and Dad. He warned me not to tell, but Samuel was courageous and did not hide anything, and Jehovah himself was with him. I couldn't hide this. Talking to my parents wasn't easy, but I knew it was the right thing to do.
So what we're looking at here is something called information control and emotional control. I'm sure a lot of you guys know of the BITE model if you watch my channel. But
all right, everything that he said there, spot on, no issue at all. Spot on, 100% correct. I'm going to ask you to watch the video. I've placed a link in the description so you can see what he said. In the interest of time, I've cut that section out, but he hit the nail on the head when he spoke about the emotional control that is going on here that cults do. Spot on. Let's continue.
the kid said he warned his brother not to tell. He's throwing stuff around, yelling, slamming doors. They're obviously trying to depict this kid spiraling completely out of control because he finds friends outside the religion. Like I said, all we know about this situation is that the kid is forming friendships with people outside the religion. That's it. He looks like he's about 16. I'm not going to assume he's doing anything illegal. If he is, then that has its own set of issues. But it doesn't really matter because Jehovah's Witnesses forbid even the most basic friendships with outsiders, whether there's alcohol involved or not. They are the very definition of helicopter parents. You don't have any privacy. You don't have your own life. You don't have your own friends, your own personality. Everything revolves around the religion, and that's all there is to it.
All I want to do is to be a little fair to the organization and be practical as a Christian. I am a father. I would be concerned if my daughter, when she becomes a teenager, starts going out, going to parties and drinking and not hanging out with Christians, but with non-Christians who are drinking and doing things that I do not approve of. As a parent, I would be concerned. It is also true when TellTale said that he doesn't know if the boy is doing anything illegal. But parents are not only going to be concerned about what is legal or illegal. And these things, unfortunately, are not quite so simple. It is a fact that Christians hanging out with non-Christians tend to give into peer pressure, and one thing can lead to another, and it can indeed become dangerous. I'm going to be inserting another clip because that story is non-fiction. Sorry, fiction. This is just an imaginary stuff. But here is what is supposed to be a true story presented by a Jehovah's Witness. Have a look.
I was raised in the truth and had good spiritual examples in my family that helped me to set goals at a young age. Progressed to baptism in my teen years, also started regular pioneering as a teenager. But I started hanging around the wrong crowd. Inside the congregation first, and then bad association outside. Partying, heavy drinking, living a double life. I knew I couldn't continue that and stay at home because my parents were still serving Jehovah faithfully, so I decided to move out and go into the world 100% because I just wanted to have fun. Well, with nothing holding me back, the party and the heavy drinking led to experimenting with drugs, living in a moral lifestyle. The lifestyle in the world was pretty much work all week to party on the weekend, and that's what we did. But eventually saw that was just a vicious cycle.
It is a reality. I'm not here to tell you, I would never be so naive to suggest to you that every Christian who associates with non-Christians is going to end up like that. All my friends are not Christians. I associate with non-Christians. The people in my community are my friends, you can say. They are not Christians. And so I have fellowship with them. I have good relationships with them. But growing up as it will be difficult to speak about my teenage years because even though I was going to church, I never really got baptized until after high school. But the point I'm making is, even when I became baptized at the age of 17, I had to be careful who I choose as my friends, who I hang out with, and the places that I go. And so I would not go with the friends who are going to parties and to clubs and to stuff like that. I would much rather hang out with Christians because they share my faith. We do things that we do not have to end up feeling guilty about at the end. And so, one of the good things though is that my church has a lot of activities, lots of activities for young people. There's the Pathfinder Club, there is camping, there is so much that we do. We have socials, we play together so that we had enough. And also going out on the town in Montego Bay, there are so many things we could do to avoid going to parties. We could just go and have KFC, fried chicken, and go to Burger King and go and have some pizza, sit down on the beach and talk and laugh. So I had a lot of fun as a young person, but it would be dangerous, and I've seen it happen. I have had other members, brethren from my church, who start hanging out with non-Christians, who start going to parties and stuff, and after a while they leave the church. So it is a genuine concern that parents have. The question, however, is do parents, does the Watchtower take this too far, because every parent runs the risk of going too far. For example, am I going to, when my daughter becomes a teenager, start prying into her phone and watching everything she does? Will she have any privacy? Or am I supposed to train her in such a way and trust her to make the right decisions based on the training that she gets? I just thought I would put that in, because we do not just want to just criticize the Watchtower. There are some times when we can be objective, when it is not quite as bad as it sounds. Definitely, they go too far. Let's continue.
Anyways, let's hear Stephen Lett's commentary on the video.
Did you see the loyalty the younger son showed by his bringing the matter to the attention of his parents? Did you also notice the loyalty the parents showed by going to the elders for assistance? After the parents were able to talk to the elders, we hope that the older son was able to get the help he needed and that the discipline brought him to his senses. Has your child left Jehovah? Do you blame yourself? If so, remember that Jehovah stood by faithful Samuel, and he'll stand by you. He'll help you endure.
I think the message here is pretty clear. You should report on others' misconduct. That's absolutely not a question. If you don't, then you're just as guilty as they are. The parents did the right thing by telling the elders, despite the fact that the kid was going to be quote-unquote disciplined.
No, this one is tricky because the little boy did the right thing. From his perspective, his brother was doing something wrong. He went and he spoke with his brother. He didn't go to his parents. And I want to commend him for that, because that is the correct thing to do. He went to his brother. Having gone to his brother did not accept what he said. And so, concerned that his brother is doing wrong, he had to make a tough decision. He doesn't want to hurt his brother. He doesn't want to tell on him. But he knew that his brother was going. And look at it now. We're looking at it from his perspective. Don't look at it from yours. This little boy saw his brother in danger, spoke with his brother. Brother kicked him out of the room. He's crying. He goes to his parents. He did the right thing. I wonder though, which story in the Bible, which story of Samuel is the Watchtower depicting here? I will comment on that in another video. But he did the right thing. And the thing began to deteriorate from there, because this thing about elders, ladies and gentlemen, in and of itself, there is nothing wrong with seeking counsel with a problem if you do not know how to handle it. But this idea that the elders are the solution to every problem is really a stretch, and it's going too far. Is it that Jehovah's Witness parents just can't handle these issues? And if you get to the place where you cannot handle these issues, did it ever dawn on you that you could seek professional counsel? It is a myth that Jehovah's Witnesses have, that their elders are professionally trained to handle everything. There is too much control with this organization, which now brings me to what I consider to be the most profound part of TellTale's video. And this is where the organization is going too far. You have to be very careful how you treat these issues. And the way the Watchtower, this high control organization, does things have serious ramifications for young people. I do not know if TellTale is the typical Jehovah's Witness young person who left, but this story in and of itself is impactful enough to consider.
When I got disfellowshipped, I was 18 years old. I had spent age 12 to 15 in total isolation from the outside world. The only people I talked to in that 3 to 4 year period were my two parents, who both had bipolar disorder. So when I started dealing with social isolation from the religion, I reached out for friendships outside the religion. Whatever it took to not have to go back to complete social isolation. As a result, Jehovah's Witnesses, like my parents, backed further and further away from me, until finally I got disfellowshipped. And I basically haven't had a relationship with a Jehovah's Witness ever since. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. It was the best decision I ever made. The love that comes from Jehovah's Witnesses is completely conditional. It's based on the condition that you keep up with the rules and requirements of the governing body. If you start to slack off, even a little bit, there will be consequences. They'll pre-shun you. They'll back away if they see you backing away. The friends and family I gained after leaving the religion have my back, no matter what, and they always will. Their love and friendship is not based on the condition that I follow the arbitrary rules of 8 dudes in New York City. They will always be here for me, and we both know it.
I am happy that he found what true love ought to be, unconditional. How many lives has this organization destroyed? How many families has this organization destroyed? And what is sad about it, and which is why I can understand this video, is how the organization destroys lives and seem to think that they can put forward the scriptures as justification for doing that. I understand, ladies and gentlemen, why people become atheists. I understand why people can't be bothered with religion. Because if this is what religion is, I want nothing to do with it. This organization, mark you, it's like, I'm not going to put it down to Jehovah's Witnesses alone. Many Christian churches, most Christian churches, if not every single Christian church, has made Christianity and Christ look bad. But I want to say to those who are turned off by religion, look to Jesus. And if you can still believe the scriptures as I do, this story did not start with the Jehovah's Witnesses. It started from back then in Jesus' time. It was the Lord himself who instituted the Sabbath. It was God himself who gave the command to keep the Sabbath holy. What was the problem? The church's addition of rules and regulations around the Sabbath, so much so that they could not even accept the Son of God as the Son of God. Why? Because of their rules. Because of their additions to the word, because of their taking things too far. And the problem continues down to this age. And that is why I have to be constantly saying to people, look to Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life. It is not Christ that is messing up people's lives. It is people who are going too far in the name of religion. So even when I can be objective and just point out that yes, the situation is delicate, and yes, the little boy did the right thing, and yes, the parents have reasons to be concerned, this organization, even more than other Christian organizations, just goes too far. I pray that somehow the Lord will help the many persons who are so whose lives are so being messed up in the name of religion.
May the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.